download and whatnot, so it would be kinda annoying. Anyway, here we go with the first game. Let's just turn off the music then and get prepared for the first game of the round of 16 match between Shelty and almaHUN. Well, we are going to be looking at what kind of gods. It's going to be Shelty as Poseidon and almaHUN as Isis. Well, definitely good map for the Isis, of course, the Alfheim in here. And that was a map chosen by almaHUN, if I've seen things correctly. So, we are going to be starting with looking at him. And, well, of course, he's having a nice hunt on the right. And, of course, very, very nice gold for him as an Egyptian in here. As we are also moving on the left into another gold mine. So this is a pretty nice map for the Egypt. And looking how this part of the map is going to be fairly easy for him to wall off as well. Even though it's going to be kind of tricky because he probably doesn't want to give out the TC all that much. This gold is potentially his for the taking as well. And all the gold mines on the left. Oh man. This is a good map. This is a very good map for almaHUN. The town centers are positioned quite alrightishly for him. There's not really any kind of issue with them. Both front TCs are more like his than actually Shelty's. Shelty's back TC is actually this one in the very front. So he's probably not gonna be all that thrilled about the fact that an Egyptian is having a TC at the very corner of the map behind him. And oh man, this is gonna be pretty sad. Pretty sad for Shelty. So he's gonna be taking all his skills to actually overcome the Egyptian on this map with his Poseidon. But yeah, he definitely can do it. If anybody can, he can. Relic for better towers, ranged and melee attack. Definitely pretty great, would be superb for the Egyptian. But since it's very far away, I don't expect he's gonna be actually taking it. Otherwise, the gold mines are not bad for Shelty either. It's not really tragic to be having this one and this one. This is quite alright. But the TCs are going to be quite problematic and he will have to be very, very aggressive to somehow try to control the opponent. Because this one can pretty much be considered actually almaHUN's. It's going to be very hard for Shelty to do anything about it, which will force him a bit into the town center on the right side, which I'm kind of expecting will be fairly easier for Shelty. But still, if almaHUN plays it correctly and does have his mind on controlling the map, he could be controlling it as well. But yeah, let's see how it actually develops in here. Anyway, another nice gold mine for him. What was the relic in the back? Pegasus. Well, considering the fact that Poseidon doesn't have underworld passage, it could be used, for example, for earthquake still. In that case, it could be useful. And relic for better villager hit points, that's a good one. Definitely great for the almaHUN, especially if he is going to be raided by the opponent, which he definitely should be, because Poseidon with horses, yeah, well, he is going to be raiding exactly, for example, this girl joined by this one, and well, that's something that he will want to do as much as possible. Well, the names I can see that are kind of confusing to you. Well, of course they're gonna be because they are vanilla players, not really Age of Mythology, the Titans players, so they are probably visiting from Game Ranger as well in here in the Wolfie tournament, as the lure is right now getting at least a few extra deer next to it and some Wolfie, so potentially he can rest and stay with more hunt. Well, that was a long idle time in there for Shelty, but since we are at about 3 minutes, we are probably going to be looking at a temple sometime soon. So far it's just a bit of scouting and a bit of an early fight apparently between the priest and the Kataskopos, so that's about it. And is there something interesting that we could be noticing? So far not really. He just abandoned the hunt already, moved to the left. I'm not exactly sure why he actually abandoned the hunt when he already, well, rather when he still had 46 foot in there, but well, it definitely happened, and he's right now coming for the temple, which will result in advance about, yeah, 5 minutes maybe. Maybe something around the time. And it really, as an Isis, you would be fully expecting that he's gonna go. Nice relic, wall hit points. That's definitely useful for the Egyptian. That he's gonna go for faster heroic, as all the Egyptians in the qualifications did, especially Isis. And that will be advanced at about 7:30. So it's gonna be very hard for Shelty to do something about that, because of course 7:30, that's very fast. And if you are not having auto queues and whatnot, it's probably going to be a bit tricky for the aggressive player. You can right now see villages getting a bit of idle time, which could just as well be about the fact that he doesn't have auto queue and needs to queue up villages and heroes in his town center manually in there. Well, Hunt still quite a lot of it. Where he will be moving next? Well, probably not into the middle of the map. That would be quite risky for him. Yeah, that's going to be up to Shelty to actually take this. He's gonna get the villager hit point, which is of course gonna help him, as not only is he gonna be protecting himself, but much more importantly, his opponent is not gonna get it unless he actually gives it to him. Which almost seems like that he might just now, as he's scouting, of course, with the hero a bit to see where he potentially needs to raid. It will result into the fact that his opponent is not going to be having hard villages to kill, and that will of course be beneficial to his gameplay overall. Going to be apparently annoying here a bit, but yeah, he definitely needs to escape with it, but he is annoying his opponent as well, which is definitely good news for him, because there are about 10, maybe even more, slightly more villages in there, which is of course quite important at this stage of the game, because his opponent wants to advance into the next age. He's already walling himself up, even giving up... Wow, that's defensive walling if I ever saw one. Even giving up the chickens and the berries. Would have been expecting Wallabat here, for example. It would have made a bit more sense. And then the second one here. But still, he's definitely expecting full assault from his opponent very soon. So let's see how fast actually Shelty is gonna be. 540 advance. That still seems to be quite alright as far as advance into Heroic Age goes for him. Otherwise, of course, double archer range, AK stables, sorry. Stables, and they are going to be producing a few hippicons to go for the raiding. Of course, there's not going to be much food gathering for the red player in the left side either, rather left. And I'm not really expecting, rather sure, what he's gonna do right now, because of course, because of this weird building of the wall, it could still work for him, because at least if he's raided from the front, he could escape behind the wall. In that case, it could be making sense, but since it's not really finished, right now it's gonna be... Yeah, I think there is still a way through though. I think there is still a way through for a villager or some kind of infantry guy or whatnot, as he's going of course for the armory. Well, let's see where the first horses are gonna come. That's basically right now going on the right side to make sure that his opponent is more or less blind and doesn't know where to go first. Otherwise, he's going for the hunt on the right, but which he's already finished. Yes, quite nice point of view so far, seeing the horses coming in, and of course right now it's going to be highly passive from the Egyptian, and it's going to be all initiative from Shelty, but I'm not exactly sure if he will be able to do anything significant about his opponent, because of course he's fully defensive. He's already going to be advancing into Heroic Age in just about, I don't know, a few seconds possibly. And disrupting Migdol inside the base of the opponent, that's usually not happening. So I would be kind of thinking that it would be a good idea for Shelty to also start thinking about advancing into Heroic Age, because once he is not in there, with almaHUN having the back TC, yeah, it could be kind of getting tricky for him a bit, but he definitely needs to follow up on the wall in here, almaHUN, because he's still wide open. He needs to finish on the wall in here so that he protects this super important gold for him, because it's really looking like that on the left, this one is not going to be really available for him. And yep, you can kind of guess that Shelty is not going to be letting the pressure up at all in this game. Another wall missing on the left in there, and he's going to be following up with the lumber camp, and apparently... yeah, lumber camp here. Not sure. It would be better house, of course. But he's going for the granada in there. And of course, he's going to be right now raided on the wood line. As Shelty is getting up another relic. Another defensive one. So basically, all the defensive relics, the better hit points for the villagers and right now for the walls, are coming for the aggressive side. Which is, of course, a huge bonus for him. As if his opponent had them, that would have been a whole lot more trickier for them, or rather for Shelty, to do anything significant about it. So yep, this is just going to be finishing with the cowies. And then though, he is dry. So that's just the last hunt in here altogether. I don't think he has any other hunt anywhere close by. He's having just basically the chickens and potentially the berries, but not really anymore, because of course the horses are already in place. Which will result in pretty tough situation, because he's gonna need a lot of gold. Not only for the Migdos, for the TCs after the Heroic Age, but also for the farms. So I'm not all that sure that he's actually going to be ready for all of this, as we are looking at Shelty going for the armory, and yep, exactly thinking that he should be advancing about 10 minutes into the Heroic Age as well. In the meantime, another stable coming up, as he's feeling that his base and economy is quite alright. Let's check some upgrades, hand ducks, but we are missing pickaxe, interestingly enough. As this is of course one of the most important upgrades as far as Hippicon production goes. His opponent is probably going to be having the pickaxe, of course, as he's already switching into farms, but yeah, he apparently doesn't have enough resources. Oh, you can see that he's right now stuck in there. He had about 3 villages not really gathering for about at least half a minute or whatnot. Kinda sucks. Kinda sucks for him. But, well, that's it, how it sometimes goes when you want to be efficient and the game just plays some little tricks on you. Still quite nice scouting by the priest, as he's right now just coming around the around the map, trying to see all the resources. He has basically discovered all the golds that Shelty can be having on the right side. And those 3 golds, whereas there's still the one at the back that is definitely going to be quite enough for the game to come. He has just started there, and well, heroic age for Shelty coming up. Fortunately, the picture didn't really materialize correctly in the extra information mod in here for me in vanilla. But the priest is just now dying, and that will result in basically almaHUN going blind and going to be relying on exactly, rather on what his units are going to be seen from now on. Right now, I'm not sure if this is actually enough for him. He probably could have gone a bit more adventurous. Or he should just wall. He should just wall in here and be safe. And then he can place the Migdol absolutely anywhere that he wants. It would have been a bit better for him. But yeah, he does have the gold right now. And that's super important for him. And of course, right now the horses, not really going to be that much of an issue. As of course, TC is going to be without any kind of problem coming into power of almaHUN once he gets enough of the gold mined into his stockpile. So camels are going to be the unit of choice, with a few chariot archers apparently already going for a bit of raiding. So let's watch how effective is he gonna be. Of course, that's going to be this combo of god powers. And well, actually going through Aphrodite and the cursed god power is actually quite useful, especially in battles when you are having popped armies. And when you engage the popped army and just basically reduce their numbers by about, I don't know, 6 or 7, maybe even more, it's pretty significant, of course, especially in the earlier battles, in the early heroic, where there are not really all that much of a population, where there is not much population limit to be had in the first place. So second TC already finished. That's the defensive one for Shelty. He's going to be thinking probably about this one as the next in line, because it seems like that Red is not paying attention to it at all. He's much more actually moving to the right side. You can see through the Migdol and through the gold, also kind of being forced in there. Another idle villager, unfortunately for him, in here. And well, already medium Hippicons. No armory upgrades, but he doesn't really need them all that much, as he's just now going to be controlling the map altogether and making sure that almaHUN, the only TC that he could be getting is the one at the very back of his base, which is exactly right now being captured by almaHUN. Of course, almaHUN is going to be having huge problems in the later stage, because he has already walled himself off on the left side. So basically he's right now down to this gold mine and the one in here. He still hasn't walled here. I kind of think that he actually doesn't realize there's a hole. For some reason, I don't know why he wouldn't realize that. And why he wouldn't send villager right now to actually plug the hole, because it's a huge issue for him, as we are looking at... Oh, fortress being built on the left, but unfortunately for Shelty, almaHUN was paying attention right there, exactly at this moment. But at least he's forced to cast Ancestors defensively pretty much, which is a bit of a victory right now for Shelty, because it means that the push that potentially could be coming from almaHUN is already not going to be strong enough. And even though he's gonna lose a few villages and the resources potentially for the fortress, which he did right about now, that's actually quite a decent amount of resources lost in there, it's still nothing bad. And with all 3 heroes right now coming into place, those Ancestors are just gonna die like flies. That are flying all around them, of course, as well. Yep. All the 3 heroes, Theseus, Hippolyta, and the last one, of course, Atalanta, are going to be killing them very easily. I don't think that there should be any villagers killed anymore. So that's pretty much that, and looking what's gonna happen now. Well, this is actually a pretty good opportunity. This was a great opportunity for almaHUN to actually move forward from his base. Either for the town center on the left or on the right side, because of course we have seen all the army, and he has seen it too. Through the Ancestors, was somewhere elsewhere. And just it wasn't doing anything as far as actually controlling the map goes. So that was a missed opportunity for almaHUN. He definitely should have... Yeah. Not sure what he's right now doing. Trying to free the camel? Probably. But yeah, let's just wait for it a bit longer, as he's going to be securing another gold mine, and he did use it. He did use the Ancestors at least this way to secure himself gold, but I'm kind of thinking that he actually might be wanting to go for town center a bit more, because once he is down the population and Shelty maybe even captures 3rd and 4th TC at the same time, yeah, well, you can kind of guess that the amount of beacons is just going to be a bit more important than the gold income for almaHUN. Because almaHUN has absolutely no map control, and once he runs out of all the gold mines on the right side and on the left, he's just going to be basically dead in the water, and in that case Shelty can just wait, and it's going to be enough for him to win the game. So let's see how he actually approaches it. So far, let's check if the market is coming up, maybe with some mythical age. So far, I don't see it. Scouting camel apparently on the gold mine. That's a good idea from him. Apparently, mythical age is not going to be coming up yet. This is actually quite nicely played right now by almaHUN, who is the one coming for the market. He definitely could have been coming for market about here. And if he is going to be walling off, using maybe even the stragglers, or maybe just here and here, definitely has 2 options available to him. This is nice little sneak on the left side that actually Shelty kinda maybe underestimated, but he's right now coming for the 3rd and 4th TCs. So far 3rd, he's already having heavy beacons. No extra upgrades, but that's about it. He doesn't really need all that much more. This DC is going to be super important because, of course, it's right on the doorstep of his opponent. And since he has horses absolutely everywhere, and he does have much more military than his opponent is having, like, literally this. This map control is just working into Shelty's favor. And I'm kind of thinking that this DC won't be really far behind, and he probably will want to close it even as fast as in the Heroic Age, because he does have the fortress soon. Yeah, I don't think that it's going to be stopped all that much, and that will result into Petropoli, and they are pretty much everything that he needs at this stage. So market's still coming up. It's almost looking like that maybe Mythical Age won't be all that far behind, especially looking at the tower, just going for all possible defense at this stage. Well, Radu, I really think that he's basically playing this super passively, because he's kind of knowing what kind of level of player he is having against him, so he's just hoping that he can actually survive long enough. He played similarly against No Mercy in the qualification. Shadowfax AK No Mercy. He also played kind of passively in there. So I kind of think that's actually how he plays, and he's hoping probably that he's going to be pushing through with maybe meteors in the Mythical Age. Could be definitely happening, but he mustn't forget that as a Poseidon definitely will be having Earthquake, and that's one very strong god power, especially in compact bases, which is something that right now almaHUN is definitely resorting to. Oh, attempt on the TC on the right. Yeah, that's not gonna work with 3 villages. Definitely not. Shelty is going to be paying enough attention in there, so all these villages are gonna die, and of course this is not gonna get finished, which will result in huge problem for the red. And of course right now Aphrodite being cast, because he's making at least use of the opportunity that all the army of Shelty is on the right side, so he's trying to push on left, which is a pretty good idea with the siege tower, but unfortunately that's going to be the only one, as the Petrobolos behind the fortress already killed the siege works. So we are probably going to be looking at very hard chances of actually almaHUN doing anything significantly, just one siege tower. If he was able to get like 2 or 3 out there, that would have been a whole lot different. This is nice base building by Shelty, protecting the TC by the extra buildings in there. And of course, he's just leaving a few there at the back, hoping that it's going to be enough if some extra villages are coming through, which they apparently aren't. But all the bulk of the army is right now back, with fortified TC being researched, and even masons on top of that, and copper weapons. So yeah, we are already looking also on some armory upgrades on top of the units. Well, so this siege tower is going to be dead. Even villages coming forward, and some heavy prodromos. Well, prodromos are actually pretty good, especially right now against the elephants, which is something that Shelty couldn't have expected all that much. But Mythic is here, and at this stage I will just cast the Earthquake. Well, he doesn't need it, he's just gonna kill the... I was thinking about killing all those units and buildings. Cast it here, we will be destroying Migdol, the barracks, and the siege works. We will be basically just crippling your opponent altogether. But he doesn't need to do it anymore, as this is gonna get killed by the Petrobols behind the tree line. That's gonna be working quite alright. Elephants are not going to be strong enough against Prodromi, and he can just basically cast then the Earthquake here, and he's going to be killing TC Migdol, and also horribly housing his opponent. You can see those 3 houses. That's of course gonna be a problem for the opponent as well. That is most definitely going to be a problem as well. So even some mercenaries are making an appearance, but they are definitely not going to be strong enough as upgrades are slowly piling up for Shelty. Yeah, Earthquake just still waiting to be cast, and he's right now in here, which he, of course, he needs to get rid of the monuments first, because he's playing against an ISIS, so that's the reason why he's battling against it. There is one here, but it's very far away, and I don't think he has another one, so Earthquake is coming up. Yep, oh, he's gonna be losing units in here. Well, yeah, he killed his own, but that's what happens. But can he actually kill the TC? He cannot. He didn't have actually enough hit points for that left, as he killed a lot of extra buildings. But a lot of these extra buildings were actually houses. 1, 2... That's about 5 houses. And he should be horribly housed right about now, almaHUN. He definitely will be. Even some champions in here, and that's a GG. And it's going to be a first game coming for Shelty, even though the map was pretty great for almaHUN. He actually couldn't have wished for a better map. For an Egyptian. That was really good, with all the gold placement right next to the home base. The town centers being closer to him. Both front town centers were closer to him. This left side, the TC in the back. This was a very brutal Age map, and I kinda think that Shelty will be actually glad that he was able to win this one, because it probably won't be that bad in the next ones. Alright, so let's look into the post game, where Shelty is going to be quite understandably winning pretty much everything. Better economy and all. Yeah, if Shelty is there, we can. But he's not responding, so I kinda thinking that he already went out. Well, 918 is not really fast heroic, to be honest. Fast heroic for ISIS should be about 730. I think the delay began when he was actually raided on the hunt, and he kinda mismanaged the start in there. He could have been playing a bit better there, and that could have resulted in a bit more dangerous fast heroic for him. Dangerous to his opponent, of course. Alright, GG.